And welcome to Saturday Night Live Stream. This is the Great Mystery Guest Show. It's good to see a whole bunch of people here already. So just to start off really quickly, we have the Oracle, and he's got Here We Go. And we have Mr. Rye. Now, interestingly enough, I stole his studio for this broadcast for two reasons. The first is when I showed it to him the other day as a joke, he sort of said, well, you can't do anything about the sign. Well, I want to make sure that I've proved him wrong. So if you notice, the sign has been rebranded to fit what I've done here. The second reason is our mystery guest. Our mystery guest has a connection to Ryan. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to bring our guest in here in just a moment. There were a lot of wonderful guesses on the website. I was really impressed with what you guys did. However, only one person actually guessed the person's identity, and that person was the friggin' Oracle. Which goes to say the friggin' Oracle pretty much seems to know everything about stocks, so he seems to know everything about mystery guests as well. So, without any further ado, let's bring on our mystery guest. Can I get a little drum roll? I guess there's no one here to hit the drums, but here we go. Here comes our mystery guest.
Hey.
And our mystery guest is Joy. Hi, Joy. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I've been excited about this show all week.
I know. I've been seeing all the posts.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. So I think everybody knows who you are. But if anybody doesn't, if you want to just give us a quick little tidbit on who you are, just so we can get going from there.
Well, I am high-rise mom. So here I am. And Candace reached out to me and asked me if I could come on and do sort of getting back to basics with stocks, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I really just started a year ago on High Rise channel, and kind of I was watching but not really listening, I must say. But over the past few months, I guess I started investing. So here we are. And I'm sure Ryan is, hey, Ryan says classic.
Oh, absolutely. So we've also got, let's see, who else we have? We have Jason Spooner in chat. We have Riley Mack in chat. Put Riley up here. And here's the friggin' Oracle. So Ken did another 3-hour stream today after doing his 9.5-hour stream last night.
That is crazy.
That is really crazy. I don't know how he does it. It's like I was in that stream last night in 4 hours. I was done.
I watched till about midnight and had to go to bed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We also have Caesar in the house. So hey, all. And a friggin' Oracle. Satya Mask had a bot attack for long in that is the issue with it now. Okay. So that's not good. Yep, didn't like that at all. And we got Ford. Hello, everybody. A big hey-ho from Redbeard. And here's Ryan's reaction to you. No way.
Hey, Ryan, you said practice, so here I am.
Yeah, exactly. And she's doing great. I friggin' knew it. There we go. The good old Oracle. And then come on, and he's still laughing. I think he's having some fun with this. Awesome.
To be honest, like he's asked me to go on a few times, but I feel that like you guys are just so much further advanced than I am that I have nothing to add to the live stream on his channel. Or so when you said going back to the basics, I said okay, I'll try.
Absolutely. And that was kind of one of the things. A lot of people in this world, it moves so fast. And with the community here, there's been so much movement in the year that we've been all sort of forming that new people coming in sort of sometimes don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So they get kind of a little bit left behind. So that was kind of what the whole object of the night is beginnings. And the really funny thing is when I basically announced a mystery guest, the title of the show was in the thumbnail, beginnings.
Yeah.
But yet people were guessing some outrageous people like Kevin O'Leary, and I was just like, oh man, did nobody even see the word beginnings?
I know. So Redbeard, that's his issue too? You newbie, not understanding? I don't know.
Yeah, we got Gary Matthews in the house. We
Hi,
got
Gary.
Jay Borg.
Hi,
We got
Jay.
Chris Ramos.
Hi.
And here's Redbird. That's my issue too. Interestingly enough, Redbird made that sign that I kind of altered for
Yes,
the
I
show.
remember.
And it was actually hard because where it was on an angle, I had to use all this perspective in Adobe Photoshop to get it to fit properly.
Yeah.
I'm glad Red Bear loves it. Total respect to Red Bear. He did an awesome job with that sign.
Yeah, it looked good.
I'm staring out as well, or I'm starting out as well.
Oh,
And
good.
that's the
So I'm
whole
not
thing.
the only one in the group.
You're not the only one. There's a lot of people here, and that's one of the things. One of the focuses on this channel, and Amanda W. Hi, I think she's fairly new too. One of the big focuses I've been doing on my channels, I've been trying to go back to basics, trying to get all of the basic information. Because you take, let's say, if you go over to Crypto Night in Canada, they're starting to throw things at you that's way over your head. So I'm trying to fill in all that gaps to try to help the newer people coming in, just to sort of get up along the way. And so that's kind of one of the interesting thing about this show here tonight, is that's kind of what I want to talk to you about. It's just some of the very big things. And I guess what we're going to look at is we're going to look at some of the hurdles that new people face. And the very first hurdle is the fear of even starting. Now, what was that like for you when you began?
I wasn't really afraid to start. I'm afraid to put in a pile of money, but I'm only putting in what I can afford to lose. I have absolutely no problem losing what I have in there. So that's just what I'm playing with. So I don't actually have a problem with that. And as for picking a stock, I mean, I know I'm supposed to do my own research, but I have been kind of just listening to you guys.
Absolutely.
And
And you
looking at
also,
charts.
you can also just call up Ryan and say, hey, is this a
I
good idea?
do. He gets annoyed.
But
Sometimes.
he will tell you the straight. That's the best thing about Rye. He doesn't hold back.
No, he doesn't.
And speaking of Rye, he's shocked how clear the background is. The green screen is really awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we added extra light, so we got everything in basically in good standing order. So I definitely love that. Now, from my perspective, I'll tell you, I was afraid to invest for years and years. I didn't understand it. And you always hear about people losing money in it. So it's like you don't clearly understand fully the potential that's there. And nothing really inspired me to look at it. It really wasn't until in the early parts of the pandemic, I was just on YouTube watching things because I love YouTube. And I ran into a Kevin O'Leary video, one of his, and I was like, oh, okay, that Shark Tank show is pretty cool. I'll watch that. And he was talking about an ETF, I think of one of his Wonder Shares or whatever it's called. But he was talking about that, and he was actually explaining it. And I was listening. I was like, oh, that really doesn't sound hard at all. So that got me going. And then I started, when I get sort of on focus on something, I just learn and absorb as much of it as I possibly can. And the fear, that sort of got rid of a lot of the fear. And the interesting thing is, I found Ryan when I was looking for a broker, and everything in my research said Wealthsimple was the way to go. So I was actually searching on just reviews on Wealthsimple just to sort of double check before I jumped in on that. And I found Ryan's video there, and I was like, okay, this is very cool. And then, and the funny thing is, the first time I watched him, I was just like, because I watched video number 1, and I was like, okay, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this guy, but he's got a really good presence on the screen. I'll come back for video 2. After about video 3, then I was hooked to his channel, and he had lifetime fan who is going to follow all the videos.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So
So
you just started a year ago?
um yeah, basically around the end of 2020.
Oh, okay.
But I learn fast. That's
Okay.
always been one of my strong points.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny because a lot of people, when they talk to me and then just look at the knowledge amount that I have, they're like, "Oh my God, you've probably been trading for a decade."
Well, it seems
And
like it. Yeah.
it seems like it, but I've learned everything. I learned a lot of it on the fly, and a lot of times, I came from the tech world. So in the tech world, the way it used to be is if somebody asked you if you could do something, you never said no. You said yes, and then you went home and taught yourself how to do it. And I kind of carry that philosophy with me. So, definitely, well, speaking of tech, a lot of tech jargon. There is a lot of jargon in here as well, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And Ryan has just shared on Facebook. Thank you, Ryan. Smash like and share, folks. Absolutely. Hit likes. Hit that. I'm like about 8 people away from my 300 subs. So if you're not a sub, hit that. Let's get me there.
Yeah.
Because that would be absolutely fantastic. Now, when you first started looking at stocks, did you find the whole difference between, let's say, your registered accounts and your broker accounts to be kind of a confusing area?
Very confusing.
Okay.
Still is. I mean, I go ahead, explain it.
Well, I'll explain. I'm just curious. I mean, did you make any mistakes with that? Like, I know I did. I did the exact same thing Ryan did. I started in my personal.
Yeah, I mean that's where I am in, and Ryan's been telling me I should maybe, as I put more in, I should get a TFSA.
Oh, you absolutely should get a TFSA.
So I don't know if I should take everything out of my personal right now. It's not like I have, piles in there right now, but I don't know if I should sell everything off in there and move it over or start fresh.
Right. Okay. Well, let's talk about that. I'll start with just explaining what I did. Is when I first came in, I started in my personal and I started building it up, and I was all proud of myself. And I hadn't really looked into the TFSA at that point. But then one day I was like, okay, I need to understand the TFSA and the RRSP. So I spent about 8 hours just going through nothing but pure information on them. And then I came back and I was like, oh crap. I should have that in my TFSA. So the way these registered accounts basically work, so your TFSA, your tax-free savings account, it was created as a method to sort of encourage Canadians to save by giving them a tax-free spot that they can save. Now, if you've never touched your TFSA and you are 18 or older, back in 1990, I think it was 92, 93, I'd have to double check that. But you would have the full amount available, which would be about $85,000 right now. Now, to get the exact number, you would just go into your CRA account. When you go on that first page of your CRA account, it'll tell you like what your next GST will be. And down below, it will tell you how much space you have, which is called your contribution room. So why it's important is that everything you put in there is not going to get taxed, and it can grow without getting taxed, which is beautiful. So you can grow a sizable amount of investments without ever having to pay the tax man on it. And that also includes your dividends, for example. So if you're getting dividends, they're coming in completely tax-free. And if it gets to a situation that you do want to pull some money out of that, you don't lose that contribution room. Well, you do, but you don't. So let's say if you had $1,000 sitting in your RRS if you had $1,000 sitting in your TFSA and you needed that, well, your room would shrink by $1,000 until the beginning of the next year. Then you get that $1,000 back. So you get that space back. So you're still able to use it all, but you have that small little gap. So when you pull it out, you have to wait till the next contribution room. And then every year you get extra room. So just now on January 1st, we all got 6,000 more room and $6,000 more space in our TFSA. So that's really beautiful because you're not paying taxes. Now in your personal account, let's say you invested in something and it just absolutely went crazy. And then you decided, oh, okay, yeah, I could use that money. So you pull it out. well, then you're dealing with something called a capital gain. So you're paying taxes on basically 50% of what you're pulling out. You're not going to do that in the TFSA. So the TFSA protects you from the taxes. And I don't know about you, but I think we pay more than enough taxes already. So I try to kind of avoid that. That's one of the reasons that you should move your stuff over. Now, when it comes to moving your stuff over, this is going to really be one of these things. If you had a sizable amount in your personal, then you're definitely going to want to sort of evaluate the fact that you're going to be creating either gains or losses, depending on, if you look in Wealthsimple, it will tell you, like if you look at the overall return, it'll tell you how much that is or how much it isn't. So if you were to look at all of your stocks and add them up, so the pluses and the minus, whatever that end number is going to be, that's going to be the capital gain or loss on selling all of that and then moving that money into it. If it's like really not a lot, then that would make sense to do it. And then move it over there. And then, especially right now, we're in a situation where a lot of the markets are down. So you probably have not as many capital gains as you would have had before. So this might make sense about now to sort of look at that, to look at sort of moving things over that way. And especially you said that you didn't have a lot in your personal account.
Yeah, no, not that much.
Exactly. Now, Jill says that YouTube is now easy to learn and pick up info as a good starting point. Absolutely. I mean, well, that's where I preach my stuff is YouTube. So
no, I love YouTube.
I'm pretty pro YouTube.
Yeah.
And we got Jenster in the house. Good evening. And we have some Danters in here. Love, love, love the mystery guest. And the Danters are great. And it's actually interesting. I've, a few conversations I've had with Tim and Nancy. I think Nancy in particular was thinking it would be good to get a little bit more focus on some of the older women in the whole community as a whole. So this sort of fulfills that thing that Nancy was talking about.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good. And then now we got Tim. That's how you tell them apart. The Tim and Nancy is always Nancy, and the Tim is just Tim.
Oh, okay. Hi, guys.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
So you haven't put anything in your TFSA at all yet?
No.
Okay.
Now, so I think that's where I'm going to go to next.
Okay. Now let me talk a little bit about the RRSP for you as well.
Okay.
So with the RRSP, that's kind of it's an interesting beast in that you can put things in it, but if you take it out, you lose some of your space. Now the space on that, it's not a fixed amount. It's based over each year. You get a certain amount added to it based on your income. So if you make a lot more money, you'll have a bigger space in your RRSP. But what's nice about that is the money you put in there, it's tax-free. So you're not paying taxes on it yet, but when you pull it out, you're going to pay taxes on it. So it's a good way. So if you have a year where you're just making a lot of money and you're going to be paying a lot of taxes that you don't want to pay, that's a great year to start contributing into your RRSP. So especially if you're near like a tax limit. So if, reducing your income by, let's say, $5,000 would drop you into a lower tax bracket, thus you're being taxed less, you absolutely want to do that. Now, with that RRSP, you can actually contribute in it all the way up to 71. Once you hit 71, it turns into a RIF, which is a retired income fund, income trust fund. It basically then starts spitting the money back out on you. You have to take a percentage out every year.
Yeah.
But here's the beautiful thing. If you really build up a good RRSP with a lot of good dividend stocks, you can get it to a point where you're making every year the amount that it's kind of forcing you to take out. So you really don't lose a lot of your RRSP. So you can keep it going especially if you plan to live to 110 or something like that.
And I do.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going for 200 if I can do it.
That would be nice, huh?
Oh, absolutely. And there's the friggin' Oracle Women in Investing.
Trying.
We got Nancy. Absolutely. Ladies need to rock their own finances.
Yes.
And Jill, what other resources do you recommend for finding info? Okay. There's a lot of resources out there. I do like YouTube. Also, Wikipedia has pretty much articles on everything. So if you like to read, Wikipedia is definitely a good place. Another thing too is a lot of times when it comes to finances, and especially with investing in stocks, you're going to be looking at the fundamentals of those stocks. So there's a lot of great sites. One of my favorite one is money.tmx. That one there it just has so many fundamental stats that you can use when you're looking at stocks. So there are definitely great things to do. There's also, of course, our Facebook communities. And within this community, we have now with Ken, we have 4 groups, and it's a great place to come in, ask questions. You will get answers. Half the time it's me because, I'm always on the ball with stuff like that. But there's a lot of different things. And also, I know right now, because where I have the smaller channel, I actually answer every single comment I get. And I will go into depth. That's just, part of the growth. I mean, maybe eventually when I have 5 billion subscribers, I won't have as much time to go into depth.
Yeah.
But that's, probably I'll be getting close to that 200 by then, I think.
Yeah. No, I do watch the Facebook page and try to listen to everything you guys do and say, and getting there slowly.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's not a race. That's the thing. You learn what you can. The biggest thing I find is for new people is as long as they're not afraid to ask questions. Don't stumble in. If you don't understand something, don't stumble in it. Come into one of the community, talk to one of us, find out the answer. Or if we don't know the answer, we'll at least point you into the direction that you can get that answer, which is kind of fantastic. Andrew would definitely love the mystery guest tonight. Oh, good old Andrew.
Who's that?
That was one of the guests on the Friggin' Oracle show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the one who was talking about aliens on New Year's Eve.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah.
I think right now I'm getting used to the stock situation. That's where Ryan started, and that's where I started getting invested. So it's the things that I'm not, the freaking Oracle. It's that stuff. I mean, I'm very interested, but I have no clue.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, if you think about it with the friggin' Oracle, what he does is not magic. He just knows, he just has a very good system for finding those coins. And he does his due diligence. He does a lot of research behind the scenes. A lot of times people in the community are just thinking, oh my God, he's just picking these out of thin air and he's always right. It's not that he's always right. It's that, he can recognize which coins are just not a good coin to get involved in and then move to the next one. And he's pretty good at reading, behind the scenes, everything from the white paper to looking at the actual profiles of the investors. And so he knows how to spot these rug pulls and these coins that you really should stay away from. So that's kind of cool about him.
Yeah.
Now, Ryan also mentioned Investopedia. So Jill, that's another great one there. All right. Should beginners start with blue chip stocks? I definitely say that's a great way to start. You don't want to come in the door and play with stocks that are very low cap and very volatile, because for new people, sometimes just learning the way the market works, you don't want to get into a point where you're sort of in that whole FUD FOMO battle with each other, because that can sometimes get into some interesting situations. Now, I just said FUD and FOMO. Those are abbreviations. How did you find all the abbreviations when you started, Joy?
Oh my gosh. I didn't know what you guys were talking about at all. Like I said, after a whole year, I'm only starting to know what some of this means. And I would say my FOMO would be missing out on what Ken's doing because I ain't doing my own research. And I don't know. It took me a while to really understand dollar cost average down. And, the very first thing I did, I think I even did it without Ryan knowing, I'm not sure. I bought Hive. It was $6. But by the time, it took me months or I don't know, a couple of months after that to really understand dollar cost average down. Ryan had to tell me a million times, and when I started doing that, I got it way down. So I was fine after that,
Mhm.
but it took me a long time to get there and understand
Yeah, and
and
that's
just to
interesting.
start doing it, to be honest.
No, well, dollar cost averaging is huge. It's
And I
definitely
love it.
it's good to yeah, a lot of people know about it going up when they're investing, but it's also great for getting out of investments too.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things. Now, I didn't have this as a weakness. If I saw a half decent profit, I was not afraid to take it. That's one of the reasons that I was one of the lucky people who got out of, for example, Weed MD with a half decent profit on that.
Yeah.
Another one I was particularly proud of was Shaw. I had loved Shaw. It was a good little dividend stock, and I had a good amount of it. And then I was there the morning that it was announced Rogers bought them. And I just watched that Shaw price. The ticker went up. And interesting enough, in the article, it said in the article what the new share price would be. And it went up just a little bit above that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Completely liquidated all my Shaw. But I made a good little chunk of change doing that.
Well, I
So
must say, I did make money in the end on Hive.
that's good though.
It took me a long time, but I did it with dollar cost averaging down. So
Hmm.
yeah, and then I got out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the other thing too. If you're buying a stock that you don't plan to hold long term, one of the things I do like to do is if it goes up and I'm still planning to use it a bit more, is at least try to recover the profits for my initial investment. That way, the money I'm playing with at that point is simply profit money. So if I lose it, I haven't actually lost anything.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
sometimes find that to be a pretty good thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now back to the abbreviations. One of the things I've noticed as well is just I know even Jill has commented a couple of times on one of my videos that it's like, you said TA, what is that? And I always, because where I've been in the community for so long, every time I say TA, I just think everybody knows it stands for technical analysis.
That's one no, I didn't know.
Yeah, well, there, see? And I think for a new person, what they got to do is
Write
when
it
any
down.
of us, yeah, when any of us just start talking and we start throwing them jargons, just stop us and say, hey, what does TA stand for? Or what does DCA stand for? Because
Yeah.
that way I personally, I would love to be stopped because, if somebody gives me an opportunity to educate them, that's my jam. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think some people are pretty good with asking questions, but I feel that um, the audience as a whole, with all you guys, has really gone forward quite a bit this year. I mean, they've really learned their stuff.
oh yeah, absolutely. We're getting, we're getting a really seasoned audience we unofficially call it the Ryeverse.
Yeah.
Since he started it all. And then, you got the dancers who came in, then you got myself, and now we've got Journey, we've got of course Nate Palmatier. I'm sure I'm missing somebody or another, but we've got just
Yeah.
so many people. Well, Ken, yeah, friggin' Oracle.
Yeah. Your partner in
I
crime.
mean, his shows. He will be the first one of us to do a 24-hour live stream. I'm pretty sure of it,
Yeah.
which will be
Probably.
which will be epic. I just don't know how. I just when I went to, even when I got up this morning today and I saw how how long that show went, I was in shock. I was expecting maybe 1 or 2 hours after I left.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting they went like a full 5.5 hours. I was just like, oh my god. So
I
that was
can't
just
stay up that late. I'd be
yeah.
a wreck the next day.
Well, I had a lot to do today. I had to prepare for this show. I also had to for the keto channel. I had to do the keto, make a video and publish that and all of that. So I was just like, yeah, no, there's no way I could have stayed up all night and then did all of that.
Yeah.
Now, Dave D says I got out of stocks as soon as I learned about crypto, and some people do. Some people do. I'm of that mindset that a diversification says you should not just have crypto or just have stocks. It's good to have a full amount going across. Does age factor in Canada stocks crypto? Absolutely. Age is really, really important. If you guys saw, I had done a 4-part video series on the channel called Generational Investing. So I actually did baby boomers, Gen X, the millennials, and the Zoomers. And depending on your age, it really, really does play a big part. The biggest thing is the younger you are, the more aggressive you can really get with your trading. So a younger person is going to have a lot more growth than an older person, because when you get a little bit older, you're looking for those safe stocks. You're looking for that passive income, so that when you do retire, you're not just living off of your CPP and your old age security as well, OAS. You want to have some passive income supplementing them. Beautiful thing is if they're in your TFSA, then they're tax-free and they don't affect any of the calculations on your OAS. So that way there you get extra money, which is kind of good.
Actually, Ryan said to me the other day, he's like, you only seem to want to do the risky stuff.
Well,
I haven't been playing it so safe, probably.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's the riskier stuff is more fun.
Yeah.
Because when you get the big wins, it's like, yes. But here's the thing. I mean, as you start to get a little bit older, you don't have time to recover from making big mistakes. So if somebody in their 30s, if they make a big mistake, they've got a lot of time to fix it, and still have a good chance to retire. But if you have somebody who overbets on a stock that just goes absolutely wrong, and they're in their, let's say, their early 50s or late 50s or something like that, they can then be in a lot of trouble when it comes to their retirement, because they just don't have a lot of time. So a lot of that money that they lost, which could have been put into blue chip stocks, which could have been put into dividend producing stocks in their TFSA, for example, that's now gone. So that could potentially impact them for the rest of their life. Now, in Dave D's case, since he asked the question, I know in Dave D's case, he's getting a little older, and I know he's trying to get some quick money to really buff up his retirement. And that's why he's playing in crypto as hard as he does. If it pays off, then, good on Dave, because he will, he can then hopefully he will eventually move it into something that's going to give him some passive income into retirement. But it's a little risky what Dave is doing, but at the same time, I completely understand where he's coming from. So, and I think Dave is pretty smart. I don't think he's going to make a lot of poor choices, hopefully. Now, Caesar, a blue chip stock is the cornerstone of my portfolio. Absolutely. And I love my blue chip dividend stocks. I also do some swing trading, but most of my stuff is in the blue chip. So when I do swing trading, I will play with maybe 10% of my portfolio, nothing more than that. Even though I know what I'm doing, it doesn't matter how good you are. A bad trade or a black swan event can just come along and clean out a trade that should have been good. So I always keep that in mind. Sort of like what you said earlier, Joy, about not playing with something more than you're willing to lose.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I have a little bit of the wrong mindset with this, because I'm I don't know, I'm not really seeming to care. I mean, obviously I want to make money, but I'm only playing with money. I call it playing with money that I can afford to lose. So, I don't know. When I was younger, we were buying houses. That's how we started. So this is just kind of a secondary side gig, let's say, really, for me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Real estate, I mean, if you still have a fair amount of real estate and you've got a good income coming in from that, that's passive income too. I mean, you're not doing
Yeah.
a lot of work for it. So,
Yeah.
whereas the stock market is just another form of passive income. Now, one of the nice things about real estate is that when the markets go down, it doesn't really affect what you're getting back the returns on your real estate most of the times, unless it's like the housing market that goes down. But,
Yeah.
that hopefully won't happen.
No.
But yeah, no, real estate's definitely a really good thing to get involved with.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. And then I wish I didn't start
mhm.
the stock stuff so late in life, really.
Well, here's the beautiful thing. If you ever decide as you're getting older and moving into retirement, maybe you hit that point where it's like, you know what, I think I'm just going to liquidate some of this real estate. Then you could move it into blue chip at that point. And, if you've got like a couple of homes, you could probably maybe flip those for six to $800,000, depending on where they are and what pricing the area is there. You put 600,000 into a TFSA, invest it in blue chip dividend stocks, and you could probably walk away with a passive income of, I would say between $30,000 and $40,000 a year. So you can definitely do
Yeah.
something really good, and that's
Yeah.
tax free. Keep that in mind. So you're not paying taxes on that. So that's
Hmm.
kind of a really good thing about the TFSA.
Yeah, I
Now,
didn't think about it that way either.
mind you, you probably couldn't fit all 600,000 into the TFSA. I'm getting way ahead of myself
Yeah.
because you do have a limit. So
Yeah.
you would have some of it in personal. So you are going to get taxed on some of the income from it. But, it's one of those things though. You want to utilize everything you can so you're not paying a lot of taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and crypto seems complicated to newbies, at least me, and it's riskier. Yeah, crypto is definitely a lot riskier than stocks. How much have you ventured into crypto there, Joy?
What do I have, Rye? Not much.
Mhm.
I would say actually probably most of my, I don't know, maybe 70% of my stuff is crypto actually.
Okay, so you've got a fair amount.
Yeah,
What coins
I
do you
think so.
have, if you don't mind?
Okay, coins? No. Well, NDA? That's not a coin. But that's crypto, right?
Well, no, sort of.
Sort
It's
of.
Neptune Digital Assets. Those are stocks, and they're
See?
very
So no, I
Neptune
don't know
is.
about it.
That's
Okay.
okay. They're miners. So what they do is they mine different. They used to mostly focus on Bitcoin, but now they've moved into the altcoin market. So they basically mine, which is how you create new coin. So
See, so
they're
this
not
is
like,
where I'm confused,
okay.
with all of that.
Well, think of it this way: they're a company. They're not. They just, but their product is crypto. So they're
Yeah,
not they're not crypto, but they produce crypto as their product. So it'd be no different. Like if Neptune Digital made widgets, they'd still be the same company, but they would make widgets, and you'd still be investing in that company. But in their case, they're making okay, that's fair enough. It's just they mine crypto. So basically, mining, it's very basic. When they made Bitcoin, they had like a math problem. So every time a computer is able to solve the math problem, it creates some coins. And then each time that happens, they make the math problem harder. So it gets harder and harder to create more, like Bitcoin, for example. So that's what Neptune Digital does. They have a lot of computers and servers that are running these math problems to create coins. And then those coins, of course, they then sell them to exchanges or they hold them, whichever they want to do. So that's how they generate their money. And then, of course, that's how the company is run. So when you're investing in them, you're investing in the company, but the company is doing the crypto mining, so running all of their
right.
computer programs just to create create Bitcoin and whatever other altcoins that they're doing.
Okay,
Now,
so
so
I have
when
no coins.
not with that one. Now, if you also had like Bitcoin as well on the side, then you would have coins. So if you had, and I don't know whether you do or not,
Well,
but
I sold it.
okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
But yeah, I think NDA, so Neptune Digital Assets, they're definitely a good company to be invested in for sure. Ryan will definitely tell you that they pretty much are a one-to-one type company, meaning that uh, they don't have any debt. They're pretty much, they're kind of in the clear. They're still going to be impacted by the price of crypto. So as
Yeah.
crypto goes down, their value will go down, which is perfect time for buying them.
Yeah.
But then as crypto starts to soar again, their price is just going to go really, really high. And plus, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes as well that's going to raise their price. So they are definitely a good company to be involved in. It's to me, a company like that is almost like an unofficial way to be in crypto without actually being in crypto.
Right. Yeah.
And you can put a company like that in your TFSA. So you can have that all tax free, because you can't put like Bitcoin, for example, you can't put that in your TFSA. So you kind of almost have to do it by proxy. So in this case, NDA is one of the perfect proxies if you want some Bitcoin exposure.
Yeah.
All right. Now we got a couple questions here. Well, we got a couple people making comments. That's what the replay is for, talking about his show. It's almost like, oh, I got to clear a whole day to watch the replay. How do beginners start into crypto? Okay, very good question. Generally, with a beginner, I usually recommend start with your big coins. So start with like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the two big ones. Usually find yourself a on-ramp, which is basically an on-ramp is just a company that will take your money and sell you Bitcoin. And then you can move that wherever it is that you need to move it. In Canada, my favorite on-ramp is, of course, ShakePay. ShakePay is pretty awesome. They're pretty easy to use. And the nice thing with ShakePay is when you sign up with them, they'll give you $35 if you use a referral link. If you don't have a referral link, just hit the extra info down below, and there's going to be one there for you. So you can be all good and dandy. But once you have your Bitcoin, you can either leave it on ShakePay if you want to. That's not really an issue. Or if you want to move it to, you've got different options. Like some people will get into different exchanges, so they're just companies that you can sign up with. You use all of your ID, so you'll hear one of them, one of those abbreviations, KYC, which is Know Your Customer, which is a law. So anytime you sign up to even ShakePay or Wealthsimple, they're going to want to see your ID. They're going to want to make sure that you are you. They have to. It's a law. So it's not the company saying, oh, I just want to be real picky. They have to do it. Otherwise, if they don't do it, they can't. A lot of times they can't even operate without being able to do it. So especially when you start looking at some of the regulatory companies that they're also associated with in Canada, that becomes a big thing. So the way I would then go from there is once you've got your Bitcoin, if you want to move it to an exchange, you would sign up, do your KYC, and you can move it to that exchange. It depends on really what you want the Bitcoin for too. Like you need to sort of have a bit of a strategy. If you're planning to be a long-term holder, then you could either keep it on ShakePay if you want. You can move it to an exchange if you want to see one that perhaps will provide you a bit of interest. Or if you want to be the most secure, you could even look at a hardware wallet. That is the most secure option. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. One of the first things, though, of course, wanting to get into it is also take the time to learn about it, understand what it is, what it does, because that will sort of help you decide maybe what you want to do on a long-term basis with it. And we got Bleak here saying, hey. The growth stocks potential is really enticing. Yeah, absolutely. If you look at some of the stocks that I've, in just my recent videos, we had like XEG, for example, it had like it was like above 70%, the growth on that in the last year. Doesn't mean it will still grow that amount, but it is in the oil and energy industry. So that's kind of it's an ETF. So it basically has stocks from right across the energy sector. It has a good potential of still growing this year. So it is, interestingly enough, I'm doing it on my other channel, on the keto channel. I'm doing a challenge with the keto weight loss. So whatever money I save each week, I'm putting that into the XEG stock just to see how much we can grow it. It's kind of a fun thing to do on that channel, to sort of show what you can do with some of the money you save when you start eating better, which is kind of cool. Now, ride through in unit biased is the biggest threat. No problem playing fun stocks, but as the money grows, buy blue chips and dividend players to balance out the fun. I love my dividends, pays for high risk stocks. Absolutely. Could not agree even a little bit more with Rye. That's just absolutely right. And Dave D thanking us for our information. We'll just get caught up here before we move on a little bit. 70%. Whoa. Thought you were 40. LOL. Yes, crypto related stock. NDA is also staking. Okay, absolutely. And that's Scott from Create Save Invest, one of the little channels that I love watching. And he's right as well. They also do some staking with their, and that's one of the ways they're also making more money. When you stake, what it basically means is you're locking in that crypto for a specific amount of period of time. In some cases, like for example, with Polkadot, when I stake my Polkadot over on Kraken, I can unstake it at any time I want.
See,
But they will
that's where I
pay.
get confused, is when you talk about staking and all that stuff.
Okay, well, staking is basically, think of it as lending. So if you own some money, in this case, it's in the form of crypto. A lot of times in exchange, they can make more interest on that money than what you can make. So what they will basically do is they will say, okay, well, you know what? If you lend us your money, we'll pay you 12%. And they'll take that money and they will invest it themselves in something else that perhaps gives them 20 or 30% back. So that's where they're making their money. They have a bigger spread than what you have. So that's a lot of times that's what's going on with staking. Also, in some cases, when you're staking onto a network as well, sometimes it's built right into the actual white paper. So a lot of times the network is designed to just give you coins back. So that's what happens with Polkadot. Polkadot's giving me coins back because it becomes part of something called governance. And governance is how that network is run. But we're getting way outside of the beginner category to start going into governance. All right, we also got Patricia in the house. Better to pick ETFs, index funds than individual stocks. Overall, it's safer because when you take a look at your indexes and your ETF funds, they are spread out over a lot of different companies. So you're getting good exposure. If you're not buying ETFs, and this also includes income trusts, so your REITs, and as well as one of my favorite stocks like EIT, if you're not buying any of those and you're just buying individuals, then you manually have to make sure that you're doing your diversification across all the sectors. If you are manually diversifying across all the sectors, they're close in how safe they are. I still think an ETF is safer because you don't have to do the work. There's a actual manager of that ETF who does it for you, which is kind of great. Question mark. I think it's because we're taking so long to get through the questions. I think that's dependent on the time you have to dedicate to the market. Absolutely. That's the other thing too. ETFs are, as I said, you've got a manager doing it, so you're not having to dedicate a lot of times. Like if you're a person who's new, you come in and you really just want to come in, you want to put your money in, you want to go, you want to come back and you want to have more money, then ETFs is probably a good product for you. How much swing trading can you get away with in your TFSA? Extremely little. And I'll tell you why. Because when you're swing trading, you're playing from, if you have a channel, which is basically, if you think of the triangles that stock makes, the channel would be that line along the top of the triangles and along the bottom of the triangles. So it's going from bottom to top, bottom to top. So you're buying at the bottom, you're selling at the top. Problem is in a TFSA, when you sell a stock, if you rebuy it before 30 days, and I like what Rye says, wait 45 days just to be 100% safe, then it gets you flagged and they will start to look at your account because you're not supposed to be day trading, or swing trading technically within your TFSA. It's for long-term investment. That's what it was designed for. So if you're doing it, you can only do one swing. But at the same time is that if you're only going to do one swing, you're not going to make a lot of money. The idea with swing trading is to do multiple swings on the same stock to make your money. So with swing trading, I highly, highly, highly recommend you do that in your personal account and leave it outside of your registered accounts. All right. And then, we were already there. And then we got Jenster down here. I watched a lot of YouTube videos when I was looking up how to start crypto. So many things to learn, got a little bit overwhelming, step-by-step learning, definitely. Absolutely. One day at a time, right, Joy?
Yep. Maybe I do need to start like really paying attention.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, paying attention is big. And we kind of sort of touched on this before, but only take the steps that you're ready to take. If
Yeah.
something confuses you, don't be throwing your money into it.
No, I mean, yeah, I get busy with the day job, and sometimes I'll just call Ryan and like, what are you thinking? What can I do with this? I have some money. But really, I need to be doing it on my own. I shouldn't
Yeah.
have to. Yeah.
But at the same time, you know what? The smart person uses the resources, and Ryan is your infodex. So that's
Yeah.
kind of a cool thing. So you've got good access to some great information. So it's smart to actually use him for that.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. And we have a Nate Palmetier in the house. Hey, Nate. Nate's awesome. Have you ever watched any of Nate's videos?
No, I
I
saw him on Ken's show last night.
I think you should watch. He's got a lot of his videos are very easy to understand, and he's got insanely good editing skills.
Okay.
So check him out. I know I'm trying to get him on the channel again pretty soon. We're waiting for him to get his internet connection back up to speed. So
Okay.
definitely love having him on the channel. He's he's really good. Anybody who doesn't follow Nate, by the way, on the YouTubes, just type in his name exactly as it appears, Nate Palmetier. It'll bring up his channel. All you need to do is watch one video. Just watch one. I don't even have to tell you to like and subscribe, because you will after you watch that first video. He's good. All right. And the frigging Oracle, Stingy and Luffy will not renounce their contracts not being listed on SataMask or SataMask. Yeah, there's a lot going on with SataMask this week, and that's for sure. Hi, Nate. And hey, Nate, thanks for coming on last night. I appreciate it. We got Mark, and Mark also lives in Ottawa. So there's actually, there's a good number of people in Ottawa. I think, Mark and I think he lives with Nikki, and him and Nikki both live in Ottawa.
Okay.
I think of staking as a savings account, but it gives me more percentage than banks. Oh, yes. Holy banana bread. Almost anything will give you more percentage than banks. I'm actually looking to unbank. So I've been sick of paying my service charges with like Scotiabank.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about Scotiabank. They charge you like $16.95 just to have your account every month.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
It really is. So I've come up with a strategy, and I've tested a few things. I wanted to make sure everything works. So now I'm at the point that I can close Scotiabank. I'll just use in my case, I'm going to use EQ Bank. They're an online bank. There's no charges, and they have a half decent interest rate. The only people who beat them is, I think, Neo has got 5% more. So I'm going to use them. Then I'm going to use my Wealthsimple card.
Yeah.
Because it's giving me that extra 1% back, and I can do everything with that. The only thing I don't have an ability to do with this strategy is move cash, like physical cash, because I've got nothing that I can use to be depositing cash.
Right. Yeah.
Unless I also have Simply, and Simply doesn't charge anything. So I could use Simply for depositing my cash, if I need to, or if I need to pull cash out, I can just route things to Simply, pull it out from there. Okay, now I'm all good to go.
Yeah.
So this is actually pretty good. All right. Nate, hey, Joy, so nice to see you. Rye and I spent too much time together last night.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they absolutely did.
Actually, I don't know how Nate does it with all of his kids.
There's 10 of them.
I know. How can you stay up that late, Nate? And be all put together the next day?
Unless he's got the older ones trained pretty well to look after the young ones.
Maybe.
That's what I was thinking. If I had like 10 kids, I would as soon as the older ones got old enough, they'd be learning how to do everything that could help me out for sure.
Yeah.
All right. The next big thing on our list here was the fear of missing out. So FOMO. You mentioned that earlier, that was one of those things that you run into a fair amount of.
Well, honestly, the only thing I'm afraid of missing out of would be Ken's moves.
I know.
That's it.
Ken should almost get himself a T-shirt that just says FOMO across the top of
Yeah.
it.
I've called Ryan a few times. Should we do this? Should we try this? Should we try this? But for me though, it's because I am just playing with something I am ready to lose. So if I don't want to, obviously,
No,
but
of course not.
so I know what Ken does. I mean, I know Ryan's afraid of it, I think, but I don't mind a little gamble.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's pretty
You
good
know?
to have in your situation, everything is nice and healthy because if you lose, you're fine.
Yeah. Like I
But yeah,
definitely wouldn't play with money that I can't lose.
absolutely. That
Yeah.
makes sense. And it's true. I mean, people like Ken, for example, who make these incredible moves. Even that shaman coin he picked for the coin thing that we were doing on Kryptonite Cash. So we were all
Yeah.
going to pick a coin, put a little bit in it every year. And he was like, "Oh, I'll pick this coin. I'll just put $1,000 in it." He's already
Yeah.
got like more than $2,000. I think the thing more than doubled already. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
like how does he do it?
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I think it would be like incredibly easy to sort of look at what Ken does and just want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But as I said earlier, Ken does his due diligence, and just because he does his own due diligence, you should still be doing your own as well.
Exactly. Yep.
Um, because Ken is human, he can make mistakes, and maybe if he's making a mistake and you find something, you could even bring it back to him and save both of you. You don't know, so always do your due diligence. There's Nate.
Actually, I think that's my
Um,
biggest problem, is researching.
mhm,
I just want to call and say, hey.
exactly. Well, and research. One of the things I find, and this is the way I'll research something, I'll tell you exactly my strategy. So if I come up with something and I don't know what it is, I'm going to hit YouTube first. I'll maybe watch 4 or 5 videos from different people who, I know have half decent information. I'll watch them first. And then I'll sort of, on a piece of paper, I'll just sort of jot down some of the key points and areas that I have questions and things that I want to confirm. And then from that, I'll start digging into things like Infopedia, Wiki, and start looking at some of the fundamentals to pull everything together. Because I think YouTube is always is one of the best places to start.
Yeah,
But
it is a great place.
I always say this, never, never just trust what a YouTuber says. You want to always be, using what they're saying as a place to start, but you have to be the one to finish when it comes to the research, the due diligence aspect.
And never blame a YouTuber.
That's
Because
right.
in the end, you're the one who's pushing that button and hitting buy. So
Absolutely.
never blame a YouTuber. It's on you.
Absolutely. And that's one of those things. It's like a healthy attitude for an investor to have is don't blame a YouTuber or don't even blame the market.
Yeah.
If you make a bad call, it's your fault. It's your own
Yeah.
fault.
Totally agree with that.
It really is. And that's one of those things that once you can do that, because if you don't, if you're spending your time blaming everybody, whether it be a YouTuber, whether it be oh, the market just doesn't like me or luck is just not on my side, well, what's going to happen is you're going to sort of impair your judgment a little bit. So that kind of sets you up in making another bad move. The best and healthy way to do it is say, okay, I messed up on that one. How did I mess up? Let's take a look. Let's figure this out. Let's dissect it a little bit and then turn it into a learning experience. So that next time, if you run into that same situation, you'll be like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not falling into that trap again.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's definitely a huge thing to do. So Nancy says, I love that you need Ryan's help. It's great. Absolutely. I mean, Ryan is a wealth of information. So,
Oh, he gets so frustrated with me.
well, that's one of those things.
Right, Rye?
It's family, right? It's kind of like when my mom calls me and is like, oh, I need some help with this. And half the time it's something I've never even heard of. It's something she picked up somewhere. And it's like, just because I'm good at tech, it doesn't mean I know how, this new Acme gadget works.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, okay. I said, look, I'll take care of it, but you got to give me time to figure out and research this new piece of tech you got. So it's kind of interesting that way. Ryan had an elbow cough. It takes turn to learn, but using your people like Candace and the Facebook groups as info sources is helpful. Absolutely. That's what we're all here for. There's that old adage that, two heads are better than one. In this case here with this community, it's thousands of heads are better than one. Everybody's here to help. And I've never, ever I've seen dumb questions asked in the groups, but I've never seen anybody chide somebody for a dumb question. I've seen everybody just jump to their aid and say, hey, look, I remember I used to not know what that was too, and help out. So I think it's a great part of this community. This community is so close like that. So never, ever be afraid.
I think this community is really great. Everybody's so friendly.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no fighting and no, you see some YouTube channels and everybody's getting bad comments. And I mean, this is a nice group of people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I've never seen.
I feel like I know all you guys.
Yeah.
I've been
No, I've
watching you
never
all for a year.
I've never seen a YouTube community as close knit as this one.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and that's something special. And you guys should all of you guys who are right here now in this community, you guys should just be proud to be part of this community because, and it's not Rye, it's not the Danters, it's not even me or Nate, it's everybody. Because without this great community, I'd be talking to an empty screen with five subscribers. It's kind of, that's just the way it is. You guys have the power. You guys have the specialness. You guys bring it every day.
Yeah.
And we're just happy that you're letting us, sort of step it into that role of guiding you guys along the way. It's fantastic. So definitely give yourselves a pat on the back. Everybody should. Okay. You should bring Ryan on. Well, do you want Ryan on?
Sure, it's up to you.
I don't mind. I can drop the link if Ryan wants to come on. He can certainly come on. That would be fun. All right, let's do this. I'm going to drop the link here, Ryan. It's up to you if you want to join the two of us or not. Let me just grab that link. All right, I'm dropping the link in chat, folks, but this is for Ryan only. Apologies to anybody else who would like to come on. And there we go. It should be in the link. Let's see. Nate's channel is a must subscribe. Absolutely. We all love Nate.
Yeah.
And his 10 kids. We don't even know his 10 kids, but I feel like I should be sending them Christmas gifts. Oh, OMG, something from Tim. Let's see. Take a chance, Joy. The voodoo I do. Yeah, Ken can sometimes be, it looks like magic, but you know what? Once you understand what he does, like I've said a few times, it is absolutely cool. So what? Ken is human. I thought he was just the friggin' oracle. He can be both. And then ha.
Actually, Candace, are you into anything that Ken has been into?
I am looking at some moves on the Satya mask that I've been talking to Ken about. That will be the first time I'm really getting into that area that Ken has. I've been playing it a lot safer. I do tend to play it safe, but sometimes when you look at the fundamentals, especially there's a coin he's looking at. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it or not. because, that's up to Ken. It's his coin.
Yeah.
But the fundamentals look really good, and it looks like there's a good opportunity there. So I am definitely looking at making a move into that, because sometimes if you can get in nice and early, you can make a half decent profit.
Yeah.
Okay. And he can make crazy predictions on obscure projects. That he does. When I went to bed, my hangover was setting in. Hard time sleeping last night. Well, it wasn't even last night.
It was today.
It was technically today. Sometimes there comes a time where if you stay up so late, it's almost like you might as well not even go to bed. Just write it off. It's like it's too late. It's gone. Awesome crew. We have lots of insight and all reaching for the same goals. Family. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Gary's an awesome dude. I like Gary. Bring Rye on. So true, Gary. And more again, hashtag family. We're all coming in. We are Canadian. Yes, absolutely. It's because we are Canadian. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, that was my link. Freaking Oracle. Oh, man. Rye could use Candace's background. That's absolutely funny. Yeah, it's his background. I'm the one who stole it. So, he can claim it back. Round 2 tonight at the friggin' Oracle. So, I think Ken was talking earlier about possibly doing a show after this show. So, or maybe he's not.
Did
He
one
did
today.
this 3 hours earlier. So, not sure about that. All right. So I'm not sure if Ryan got the link or not, but it's still there, Ryan. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome to. All right.
Maybe he's with Eddie.
What's that?
Maybe he's with Eddie.
Oh, maybe. Eddie is definitely a bit of a chore.
No kidding.
So
Yeah.
those of you in chat who want Ryan to come on, just keep on hyping it up, and we'll just keep on moving on here. One of the other interesting things I think for a newcomer is how you do deal with a mistake. We've kind of touched on that already, because you had mentioned how sometimes I like to blame the YouTuber that may have been talking about it or such. Have you actually made any mistakes yet?
To be honest, not really. I mean, other than maybe the Hive when I bought at $6 at its highest. But I did dollar cost average down after learning that from everybody, and ended up selling it at a profit. So, so far, no.
Okay, that's not too bad then.
Yeah.
I think my biggest mistake was probably putting everything, of course, into my
okay. Well, maybe
personal initially, but I've had a couple. I had a couple, I think, with a few stocks where I bought, and they went down a little bit, and I saw right away, it's like, oh, this is probably not the best stock to have bought. What I usually will do, if I've bought a stock that's falling or their fundamentals, if I just misread the stock, I'll just start to do more research. I'm going to figure out, first of all, how bad it's going to get with that stock. And I know with Ryan, he's kind of like, I won't sell something if it's red. I will sell something if it's red, if I have an alternate place I can move that money to that will recoup that red for me fairly quickly.
Oh, okay.
So instead of waiting for a dud stock to finally get me back up into the green, if I can just take that and maybe let's say I ate a $500 loss, if I can put it into something that's going to grow me $500, like, in a couple of weeks, then I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Instead of sitting on that stock for a very long time.
It's just I don't mind just holding.
A lot of people don't. You have to, I think you have to be pretty confident that what you're going to move it into is going to, recoup the loss for you. But also, if you look at it this way, if you have a dud company, and there's a couple of really good companies that are down just because of where the market's at, sometimes liquidating the red, moving it into that the more stable company that you know is going to be going back up. Sometimes that becomes a bit more safe, but it comes down to personal. I respect people who are like, I don't want to move it. Oh, and guess who we have here? We have my my little office here, doppelganger. Let's bring in
Yo,
Rye. Hi,
what's up?
how are you doing?
Just listen to the chat until you guys called it up, so I thought I would join.
So
Oh,
were
look,
you shocked?
he turned on his
It
red
was-
light to differentiate our
I
studio.
know.
A little differentiation. Well, it was a surprise, that's for sure. Definitely a surprise. I've been trying to get you on forever now. That's awesome.
What's that?
I've been trying to get you on for a while now, so it's nice to see you're on a live stream.
Well, Candace said it was back to basics, kind of for beginners. So I said, okay, I'll try.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you see, now after this, you have no excuse
But
because you've already done a live stream.
I mean, when you guys are on with the dancers, the conversation is flying. I'm not at that point in that space.
Keep in mind, most of the conversation, I'd say 80% of the conversation is totally unrelated to crypto most of the time.
I know. Yeah, I guess maybe sometimes. Yeah.
So was I right, Rye, that that my mystery guest was going to be a WTF moment for you?
Yes, definitely. Nailed it, Candace.
Absolutely. That
That's funny.
It's a pain to get the letters to curve on the angles like that, eh?
Oh, it really was.
Oh, figuring out my whiteboard took me forever. Once you know the settings, you're good to go. But
yeah, that was the whole thing. Well, the funny thing is, I did it, and then Photoshop crashed. I had it almost done, but then I had to redo it. And I was like, okay, well, at least now I don't have to learn how to get the curve or the angle I wanted using the perspective tools. So that worked out really well the second time around.
nice.
Ken says, good morning, sunshine.
Yeah, I was wrecked. I'll put it out there. I mean, I didn't go to bed till 4 o'clock my time. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Oh,
That was a wild. I've never seen a live stream that was 9.5 hours long. That was intense.
That was, I was shocked when I saw it this morning. I was just like, holy banana bread. How did they do it? And there's a friggin' article.
Let's hear.
I would say that I'm opening myself up because you were saying, Joy, that you're just content holding something.
Sorry, what did you say? You broke up.
You know how you're just content holding something, whether it's winner or loser or whatever, right? If it wasn't that death stock that I always refer to, I mean, that one I've written off so mentally that I'm not going to sell it as a loss, but I have mentally opened up to selling something at a loss. But like Candace said, only if there's an opportunity that's going to pop like instantaneously, or at least in my gut kind of thing. But I've opened up. I'm just letting you know on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I was the same way that Rye is. I hated selling anything in a loss. But then I was just watching opportunities come by. And I'm like, if I just would have moved it to that, I would have been fine already. So after seeing enough of those, you're like, I'm just going to do it. And you do it and it works out. If it doesn't work out, you're in no worse shape than you were when you started. That's
like I know in Joy's case, because it's a little different than the rest of the communities, you've literally written off the money in advance. Like you know what I mean? I know like your attitude, like it's almost like you're treating it like gambling when you really shouldn't. But it's almost like you are because you've just written it off before it even goes into anything, right?
Yeah,
So,
I have actually.
Yeah, that's the one. That's probably why you're not interested in as much in blue chip stuff because it's not exciting, right? So that's why I'm trying to. It's tough to get new people into boring stocks, but when your money starts piling up, like
not necessarily, but
just keep in mind though, a lot of dividends. Like I got a dividend not too long ago. I mean, a lot of these dividends can buy this stupid stuff that like is really fun. You know what I mean? Especially if you've got a chunk of change.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Gary wants to know if we see a pump in crypto in the coming weeks or months. Here's an interesting thing about where Bitcoin is right now. It looked like it was going to break through my support zone, the one between 40 and 42, but It's now seemed to be slowing down in it, so it may not go down, but I think we're going to see some sideways motion. I really do. And here's the scary thing. I don't have any technical analysis to back this up yet, but my gut is telling me we might be looking at a couple of months of, poor action before we see any kind of a rebound. I hope I'm wrong though, but that's my feelings. What about you, Rye?
I am so long term on all of my holdings that I don't care what it does in 6 months. If it goes down, I don't care because I believe in crypto in the long term. I genuinely do not care if it goes down. I'll just buy more or whatever. My issue here with crypto is how long am I prepared? I'm prepared mentally to hold some crypto positions that I have now until 2023 before I really start wondering like what the dealio is here. If there was a winter that lasted 2 years, for instance, that would just cheese me right out. But I don't care if it goes up or it goes down. I just believe in it longer term, especially DeFi, this, that, and the other, without going too deep. So I'm good. I'm just good holding. And if it goes down, it's just a good stock for even cheaper, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Or coin
And
or
Nancy
whatever.
was saying that they were getting up for breakfast when you guys were heading to bed.
Yeah, it was insane. It was insane.
Jill's asking for embarrassing stories from Rye's childhood.
Maybe not.
There's lots.
I'm sure.
You see all this gray? Yeah.
Rye.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nancy wants a childhood story as well. Funny enough, I had planned not to ask a single question about embarrassing childhood stories, but the chat have their own ideas.
Should I?
Maybe. What do you mean, should I? Which one are you thinking about dropping?
Well,
I don't know.
Save it for...
I mean, pick one that's not too embarrassing, but has a little bit of humor to it.
I don't know.
Okay.
Go for it. I mean, if you have one, if you do, if you can think of one.
Humor?
Mm-hmm.
She's thinking. She remembers the stressful events.
Yeah.
So,
They're all stressful.
yeah. Maybe ponder it, and if you find one by the end of the live stream, how about that?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. I the only one I remember is I remember Joy once mentioning about Ryan opening up all of his Christmas presents and then rewrapping them.
Yeah.
Whatever we could do.
Uh-huh. I remember that one because I did that myself one year. And then my mom at that point started hiding the Christmas presents at somebody else's house.
My mom and dad one year were just so, I don't know what your deal was, but you put all of our Christmas gifts very plainly in your bedroom closet right before Christmas, right when we're not, what? You guys go out, we're not going to snoop. We find all this Star Wars toys, Millennium Falcon, you name it. My parents freaked out because it said Santa all over it. And I'm like, whoa. So we found all these toys and they ended up returning it. I think we got different stuff. For Christmas. Yeah. Because we did. Remember you returned the Millennium Falcon and we got different toys. I would not have
returned the Millennium Falcon on you.
It wasn't me. It was Matt. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we got some different toys because you guys freaked. We left it right there in the open.
Oh, wow.
That's what happens.
Shouldn't be going through Mama's closet.
I know. We were young. We were kids. That's what happens.
Kids are mischievous. That's for sure. Oh, well, that's interesting. I think the last thing we had on our thing is dealing with a winning stock. A lot of times new people don't know what to do when a stock is going to the moon.
I'm on Candace's page on this. Like you guys, especially channel members, know if I got a good couple of points in a very short amount of time out of nowhere, I'm walking and I'm going to put it in an underperforming stock in the same sector even, which is something I just did the other day. But like I have no problem taking profits, especially after how I started my channel with that one experience, right? Like, especially with that stock. Because I remember having a conversation with my mom about that stock. And I'm like, should I sell it? Should I sell it? And we had a discussion. We're like, no, you told everyone you'd hold it for a year. And then I kind of figured, can't do it. I'd seem like a total fraud. I'm never going to make that mistake again. If there's a stock that pops, I'm getting out of the stock. It's as simple as that. Even if I was 2 seconds ago, I was saying yes. But if it pops way faster than expected, obviously, I'm walking every day of the week.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I like cycling out. I'm not sometimes, like for instance, if it's a super high risk stock, like, how long are you going to ride out a train here? Like, how long would you go bet black on a roulette table before you walk away with winnings kind of thing? That's how I'm looking at some of the high risk stuff. Not as much like if I held Apple, I could hold that for 10 years and not look twice. I don't care what the gain is. But on a high risk stock, I don't know. That's equally as down as it is up sometimes, given the market. I'm going to walk with, for me at least, but everyone's different.
Maybe
that makes
that's
sense.
something a newbie has to learn on their own.
Yeah, it's different for everyone. Like I said,
Fail forward.
Well, like I said, though, you feel differently because it's a different, you've literally written the money off. I am looking to earn some and pull some out at some points. That's a little bit of a goal. So I think everyone, depending on what we're using the accounts for, but again, you might evolve into, you're going to accumulate, I'm sure, quite a bit where the dividends will start paying for these really cool things that are popping up. You know what I mean? And they add up quick, especially the monthly ones, if you got a chunk of change.
Yeah. And one of the things I will even say to people as well is like, you know what, if you still feel like you want to stay in it, just at least remove out the initial capital. That way there you're playing with pure profits. And if you do lose it, you're not going to have lost anything overall. But even then, myself, if I were to take that strategy, I would then probably, as it goes up a little higher, I would start shimming out some of the profits too, for sure.
Now it's tough too, because sometimes you have the high risk companies that you're just willing to bank with for 2 or 3 years. I got one in particular, maybe two actually, that I'd be willing to sit on till 2023, 24 without really worrying about. But again, it's all dependent on your own independent research, where you feel the market, this, that, everything else. But I never think twice about blue chips. Whatever that is, it is. I'm just, that's more of a time thing given the dividend payout.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, the last little piece of hurdles that I wanted to discuss tonight was a lot of times I find new people are just trying to do everything. You know, they're not sticking to one thing. They're trying to swing trade. They're trying to day trade. They're trying to collect dividends. They're trying to jump into crypto, and they're trying to pull off everything all at once. That to me is a disaster strategy waiting to happen for somebody brand new. It's like, find a strategy that resonates with you and learn that strategy.
Like, over diversification can totally kill a portfolio, like overnight kind of thing, just like under diversification. I'm kind of that mindset. I've got a couple of sectors. Holy moly, he's barking. Okay. I'm going to take care of Eddie for a sec. I'll be right back.
Okay. Good old Eddie.
Yeah.
I think he's the only dog I've ever seen that could probably eat an entire house if you gave him the chance.
Oh my God. He turns the Xbox on and off like he's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And Corey Robinson is in the house. Hey, friends, good to see y'all. Better late than never. Absolutely. And keep in mind, too, anytime any of you guys miss the live stream, you can always just watch it next time. Oh, here's somebody. So what next with a 3 instead of the E? If you take this name and put it in YouTube, you will actually find Journey, because this is Journey. Journey is absolutely an awesome channel member. He has a new channel out there all over centered around his experiences on VV. I highly recommend go check him out, see what he's got. And he just finished a stream, so you'll have the live play for his stream on his channel. So check out Journey. Throw him a little bit of support. He is awesome.
That's something else Ryan and I have been starting to talk about too.
The VV, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Brian's idea of trading up.
That's all I can afford to do with something I don't have dead fast dedication to. Honestly, I think people should take that approach, that if you don't understand NFTs, or if you don't understand something, make it a mission then to trade up or to slowly go, because I can't be dumping $1,000 in because it's the new wave, because I just don't understand it at this point. But I'm interested in trading up. I mean, I'm addicted to it. He's telling me to check. I'm trying to check the prices. I don't know what's going on.
I've been watching the moves that you've been making. I think they're pretty good. So you're getting there for sure.
I'm holding some good ones now. I'm holding one really, really good one.
Which is your best right now?
Well, I traded up for just one, all of them. So I got a really, really low mint number of the 1961 first issue Fantastic Four.
Oh,
so I got a really low mint. Well, not as low as I could have, but the average mint number is about 50,000. Mine's 13. and I got it for basically average price. And I am looking at the prices right now, Journey, and I'm going to remove my listing because it's probably going to fulfill soon. So thank you for letting me know that. They're going up, so that's awesome.
And just to prove how much of a nerd I am, I believe in the first episode of the Fantastic Four, they were fighting some kind of a mole person or something.
A mole person.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's a like lizard from underground or whatever the hell. I don't know.
See,
there you go.
Being a nerd and having a really good memory, sometimes it comes in handy. It usually doesn't, but sometimes. Corey Robinson saying hi to Journey. Red Bear, I'm gonna sub Journey. Absolutely, everybody throw Journey a sub. Someone spent 10K on today's drop. Wow, that's amazing. Have you gotten any drops yet, Rye?
Nope, not one. Try every damn time. It's tough to trade up when you're not getting any drops, right? So
yeah, well,
the missions slow down ever so slightly.
All right, and so Nikki is trying to narrow down ETFs and dividends after watching your videos. Absolutely. That's a thing. I mean, if you look at Warren Buffett, who is kind of one of the better investors in history, he doesn't have a massive portfolio. He finds the companies that he has full faith in, and then he puts money in those. He's got a good diversification, but he'll even warn you against over diversification, as Rye was saying.
He picks, like what I was going to say before I left because of Eddie, is that I've got my 2 or 3 sectors, my overall maybe 4 things I'm interested. Pick your poison and kind of run with it at the end of the day. That's kind of, or pick your horse and go. But yeah, over diversification at the beginning devastated my portfolio, I found, because you'd want to invest equally in everything, but you knew, for instance, it would just cost you on the ones at 3 or 4x because there was a couple of those. And then because for the sake of diversification and safety or this or this. So I don't know. I'd say pick your poison and just invest whatever's safe for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that makes a lot of sense. So guys, get your final questions in. We'll give you 15 more minutes. So if you got any questions for Joy, myself, or Rye, drop them in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer your stuff. And well, we got something here from Journey. With the current market prices, I guess I'd have to post mine up for 6K. And that's once again back to VV. Now, do you know what it is he's trying to post, Rye?
No, but I think that he got the drop today. But
Okay.
and if he did, I mean, $6,000 US. Keep this in mind, okay? For something that costs $16. If this is the one that he got today, okay? So
yeah, Journey, tell us what it is you got. I'm kind of curious.
If it is, it's like if it's the one that it would drop today, it's some 3D. Like, I mean, I'm not going to knock it. It's a 3D looking unicorn, to be totally honest. That's what it is. So I'll show you a picture. I'm not really into anything outside of comics, but there is the potential, obviously, for the integrating into video games or Roblox and the breeding aspect, yada, yada, yada. That's what's getting VV all hyped up on some of these collectible releases. But it's just not something I'm into right now. But obviously other people are like crazy, right?
And Jason's asking, anybody notice how stable Omni has become?
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't either. But my little pony. That's what it was.
No, they're called mermacorns or
mermacorn. Okay.
Mermaid and unicorn. Whoa.
That's
Mermacorns
cool.
Series 2 dropped today.
And
I'm looking for more comics myself. But again, like if I go look, I'll just tell you right now as someone looking at it live right now to see what these are worth, if any are listed. Like, actually, I don't even know if they are. Here is one. No, this is a unicorn, not a lilicorn or whatever. I don't know. Thousands of dollars. Let's just put it that way. I'm looking at it. I can't find the mermacorns.
Okay, so NFTs are confusing to me. Should beginners be jumping in or where? No, I don't think you should be jumping in immediately until you've got at least a little bit of a base knowledge of what's going on. I actually do have an NFT video planned, not next week. I think it's the end of next week. So I think it's next Thursday, just to sort of go over a little bit of the basics. But even then, it's one of these things that they're still a little bit confusing when it comes to how to buy it, how to, for example, you're purchasing, in a lot of cases, you're purchasing Ethereum, you're moving Ethereum over. You sometimes need another coin in addition to Ethereum to be able to purchase a specific NFT. So I think it's still not 100% user-friendly, but there's a bit of a learning curve, but get in first, understand crypto a little bit, then start looking at NFTs would be my recommendation. What do you think, Rye?
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time with NFTs. I can barely justify this mission I've got with real kind of application in a comic book. So I don't know. I'm just getting used to it. I've only put in, oh my gosh, barely anything. You couldn't even go to dinner with what I've put into VV. So again, I'm just kind of trading up and until I understand more. And quite honestly, the selling process, like you guys know, at least for those who know me, if I can't get my money out right away, then there's a little bit of an issue and stuff that they have to work out too. So if I want to sell in the secondary market, my prices are cut down to about 60%. So just because you're going through an intermediary. So a lot of things to consider. It's definitely early days though too. So again, that's why I'm happy dipping my toes, but.
And the other thing too is, I mean, a lot of them too, you're dealing with gas fees too. So you need to really do a lot of math just to figure out where your profit margins are going to be. So as Journey says, definitely not something to jump right into. If you're brand new, I would say don't do it at all. Learn about crypto, work your way up before you start jumping into something like that. Because if you remember, me and Joy were saying earlier, if you're a little bit confused about something you're about to jump into, you shouldn't be jumping into it. You should be figuring it out before you do, because you don't want to lose your money simply because you didn't take the time to do the proper research.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Understand what it is you're buying and your risks. Absolutely. And we got Red Bear. Great show tonight. Got to bounce. Have a good night. Yeah, it was great seeing you, Red Bear. Bye. Red Bear has been one of these guys who's been here right from the beginning. And for
Journey
those
I got to give a shout out to this guy because he sent me 2 in the last few days. Just sent me another 2 NFT comics. Freaking rock star, this guy. He's helping me trade up. He's helping me because I'm not getting drops. Journey, you're so awesome. I did gift. I was gonna gift one to my mother, but she never set or Joy. Whatever. The cat's out of the bag. I was gonna gift one to Joy, but she didn't set up Vivi yet. So I ended up gifting one to Gary Matthews on one of Ken's live streams. But so he got one. Mom, you got to set that up because I had to send one immediately to Gary when he told me that you didn't have it getting rocking and rolling. So now I got one to send to you too. Well, I got 2. So, but I'm waiting to give you one.
Do you have the link or something for me?
What? Just download the VV app.
Okay.
Yeah, Coy Robinson says he can barely spell NFT, let alone buy one. It's like that person who calls 411 to get the number for 911. And the freaking Oracle, so we're having another live stream tonight.
You're killing Ryan.
Well, I'll just have to set my own limits. I'm going to crash and burn on this if I go too crazy. I was on my feet for like 8 hours last night without even realizing it. It was insane.
Well, you were standing in your kitchen all night.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be 8 hours. It was insane. I just didn't think it was going to be that long.
And Gary was very thankful for the NFT.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool, man.
Gary, send me your VV name. Oh, Gary, you're about to get another one. That's just the type of guy Journey is.
He's awesome.
It is weird that I enjoy trying to help somebody that is new to crypto. No, absolutely not. That's what this whole community is about, Dave. We all help each other. I look at it this way. You have people who have incredible skill sets, and you also have people who maybe have medium level skill sets, but there's always somebody below you who has a lesser skill set. And if you can help them, absolutely do it. And if you do get into a situation where you're a little out of your league, well, look at the people who have a little bit more of a skill set for you and ask them. And we'll all jump in. We'll be like, yeah, sure. Let's figure this out. So Gary Matthews is down. Ken said something funny. I don't know what that is. You were standing. Yeah, he was standing all night.
It was insane. It's insanity. This was an inside joke from Ken's live stream last night. This had to have been one of the funniest moments on the live stream. Was this? It's a replay moment. It's a replay moment.
Ken, please clip it. Absolutely, please clip it. Journey is super fantastic. I can't say enough about Journey. Journey is awesome. Got to get into that NFT thing. When you're ready, Keto, when you're ready. Jason, I'm dying here. Oh, that was Ryan. Okay. Andrew has a nice picture of a tablespooner.
Yeah, it was Andrew. Look, long story short, just to give you guys maybe Ken can clip this, but Andrew was, remember back in the day, actually, this is go to Ken's channel. How about that? This is suited for that. Go to Ken's channel, check it out. It was a funny moment.
Absolutely. Corey is saying amazing community here. This year has been such a blessing. So many excellent and supportive people, all willing to help you grow. Absolutely. That is fantastic. Guys, we're about 10 minutes left, so get those questions in.
What do you got rocking and rolling for next week, Candace?
Well, I have, let's see, Monday I've got an Air Canada video, my first of those. Then I've got an NFT video next Thursday. I'll, of course, be on the crypto night in Canada with the amazing Danters. Their link, by the way, if anybody isn't yet subscribed to the Danters, their link is down below. So just go down there, go over, give them a subscribe. They're trying to get to their 1,000. They're 100 and change away. So any help that you guys can give them, definitely do that.
Yes.
And then, of course, next Saturday night will be another crypto night in Canada. No, it won't. It'll be a Saturday night live stream. That's actually funny because last week, when I started the Saturday night live stream, I almost said, "Welcome to Crypto Night in Canada." I was just like, oh no. Those are those moments that as a YouTuber, when I'm making a video, I can edit them, but live, nope. I just got to own them and make them funny.
Yep.
I don't know yet who my guest is for next week. There's one person I have to talk to and see if his internet is in good standing for that. If it's not going to be him, then I'll pick somebody else and we'll go in. It won't be a mystery guest. I absolutely loved the mystery guest concept because I just thought that was fantastic, and I want to do it again. But I have to find. It can't be somebody that I always have on the channel, so it can't be, for example, Ken or Ken in a dress, as he had suggested. I just want to have somebody absolutely different every time. Whenever I do a mystery guest, it needs to be somebody who the community, they may know them, but they haven't really seen them on the channel or on any of the channels. So Joy was like the absolute perfect choice for the first one. And to be honest, when I reached out to her, I was expecting a no, but I subscribe to the Wayne Gretzky philosophy that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just lay out what I'm thinking. And if she says no, fine. If she says yes, then joy.
Well, you got set up good with a microphone now, and you've got obviously a webcam. You're ready to rock and roll. Mm-hmm. Like the webcam, now that you got that blurred background thing going on, it's like it's confusing the tree though, because like it's seriously zooming in well on like half the tree, but it's still pretty rocking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I find it.
Thanks for inviting me, Candace. I couldn't add much value to this conversation, but
no, I think you did really well for your first time. I think you did amazing, actually. Listen, Ken, I'm going to bed now so I can pick up the show at 5 a.m. And that's the whole thing with Ken and his shows. Love the Danters. Next Thursday. That's a Michael Scott quote, isn't it?
No, Michael Scott did this famous thing. He had a Wayne Gretzky quote. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Then it said dash Wayne Gretzky. Then below that, it said dash Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Stupid humor. Sorry.
It was a Wayne Gretzky. It was actually, I believe it was in his autobiography. He wrote that in there.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. Like it works. For example, when I got Frankie McDonald for that interview, I just reached out. It was like, okay, he'll either say yes or he'll say no. And actually, it was the fastest yes I've ever had. I just tweeted him. I said, you're somebody who I think would be really interesting to have on my channel. It was just a simple little opening. It wasn't even the question. Then I got a tweet back within a minute saying, yes, I'll do it. When do you want to do it? I'm like, what? Okay.
Awesome.
So,
Whatever
that
works.
was pretty good. Jill says you did great, Joy. I think
Thank
you did
you.
fantastic. I think you did, really, really well for your first time. All right. Thanks for coming on, especially for newbies like ourselves. Great show, Candace. Totally surprised me with the mystery guest. That was the goal of the mystery guest. Plus, on my side, it was fun just playing up the guest all week and dropping all these different little infographics and everything. That to me was just a blast. I love doing that. Great job, guys. Great show, Candace. I laughed out loud several times. That is what the goal of the show is. The videos in the week are for information, but the live stream, it just needs to be more personal. It needs to be more of our personalities. And if you're laughing out loud, then it's working. So awesome. That's the best stamp of approval the show could get. Great show. Don't forget to hit the like button. Absolutely, folks. Hit the like. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please click on that. I'm like 8 away from my 300. And then after that, it's still a trudge, but it's a little tiny milestone. I like the milestones, little ones. All right, guys, we've got 4 minutes left. If you got if you're saving it for the last minute, you better start typing right now. Awesome show, Candace. Thank you, Riley. Riley's pretty awesome. Riley's like always around, so he's really cool.
Yes.
And plus, Jill's cat's name is Riley, so it's a great name all around. Also, Candace, if you have a VV account, send it to me. I will get a VV account once I get my license, which will be soonish, because I need that unless let me ask, do I need to do the KYC on VV? I assume I do.
I don't think you needed to, because you can't buy OMI. You're only buying gems. It's only an OMI wallet.
Okay,
so
then
that's why integration hasn't happened fully yet. That's only my big hiccup. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can download VV right now, get going, and deposit with a debit card as if you're purchasing a product online. But it took me 2 minutes.
Wonderful. Okay, Journey, I will absolutely do that. And I love comic books, so I would absolutely be over the moon for a drop. Great job, Candace. Thank you, Caesar. I appreciate that. All right, guys, we have 3 minutes left. And
I realized our plants are different.
They are too. I got this old green one from yours, and you get like a purple one?
No, it's just I had to switch them up. I'm going to go back to the blue here. But hold on.
Oh, there we go. We're starting to look a little bit closer again.
I got to take this blur off here.
Okay. Candace, great work putting all your YouTube content. At this rate of quality vids, you'll have 1,000 subs in no time. Thank you, totally. Corey. That's the goal. So, I don't mind putting all that content out. I was a little tired doing 5 videos in 5 days, but other than that, it was fantastic. All right, and we got great night, Candace. And
actually, I got a question just before we go.
Sure.
So what about investing for your kids or let's say my granddaughter?
Okay.
What if I want to do a little something for her?
Well,
does it have to be in my name? Probably.
Well, it would have to be at least in her parents' name.
But can we?
I don't even know if it could be in. Yeah, because this would have to be an account for you, or sorry, for her in totally your possession. Otherwise, you'd probably have to go through her mother. I would think. Actually, Candace, maybe you know more about it. I don't know.
No, normally it would have to go through the parents. So, they would open up an account it's technically their name. And it just comes until the child is 18. So it depends on which broker you're dealing with. Some of them do have concessions to sort of allow that to happen. Now, when she turns 18, the signing over part, I'm not 100% sure on that, how that would work. But I mean, worst case scenario, if you're just using it to teach the child how to invest, even worst case scenario, you could cash it out and give them the cash at the end, when they hit 18 and say, okay, now you set it up. You're ready. You're through your training. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah.
But I think that's a fantastic idea because schools are just not.
Look at that kid, SM Diecast in our crew. He's 14 years old. He's a freaking genius, learning left and right. He's investing. He's making bank. He's making some mistakes, but he's owning up to it. It's like everyone makes mistakes. This kid's killing it.
That's right. And he got his parents to do it, right?
He did, absolutely.
Well, but he's earning their trust as someone younger to start having more control of his account. It's funny that he's even on our channel when he's maybe the youngest guy we know. But like he is here. I mean, he's only a couple of years older than Sierra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm thinking. Just maybe getting her a little bit involved. Like she's smart.
Like the parents maintain the control, obviously, or if it was in your account, you maintain the control. But there's a way to.
I'd rather in my name, I guess. I just wish it could say her name on it, so she maybe a little bit more invested in it. Yeah,
I feel you.
Absolutely, sounds like a good idea. Well, everybody. We are at the end of the road. I want to thank everybody for showing up and showing a very warm welcome to our special mystery guest, Joy. Hopefully she's going to show up on a few more shows here and there. Also, a big thank you, of course, to Ryan for dropping in as well. And a big, huge thank you to you guys for all showing up here. We've had some great numbers all night. I'm really impressed with all of you, and it's so good to see this many of you in the house. Definitely, you guys have a fantastic weekend, what's left of it, and we'll see you, of course. We'll probably see most of you on Ryan's live stream tomorrow night. Anyway, take care, everybody. Thank you once again for coming, and have a fantastic